first met Paul about 12 years ago when we started to attend Randall Church.
I first met Pastor Paul when my mom took me out to Buffalo to go visit the university when I was deciding where to go after my junior college.
I first met Pastor Paul when I flew into Buffalo to come visit Sam when she was in school when we were dating, and I ended up staying the night at Pastor Paul's house.
So I first met Paul as a freshman student at UB, getting involved in CA, and getting to know him on the leadership team where he was a campus minister and still is to this day.
I first met Paul, well, I don't really remember. I've known Paul my whole life. We grew up next to each other, we were cousins. He was a big brother next door who kept me entertained with games, sports, activities. We played everything from frisbee, soccer, to croquet, to kickball in the Decker Stadium. Paul had different toys and was always up for something.
I first met Pastor Paul I knew of him in like 2014, 2013 when I was an undergrad, but then in 2015 when Elliot started being interested in me again, Pastor Paul was sitting in the prayer furnace and he was talking to one of my friends about relationships or something, and I was like having a really hard day and I was like, I gotta talk to this man. And so I did. And it was all from there. I don't know. In the prayer furnace.
I met Pastor Paul because of her, obviously. And that was probably in the fall of 2015. Yeah, I didn't know what I was getting into. I was kind of wading back into the waters with Emily, but Pastor Paul was kind of like that. I was kind of nervous to meet him at first, but I think when we finally broke the ice and I realized he was a fantastic guy, I was like, all right, this will work out. Pastor Paul's a cool dude.
One of our favorite memories of Paul is just the amount of time that we got to spend with him doing some marriage counseling and all of the things that he reminded us to laugh about.
One of my favorite memories of Pastor Paul is when Justin flew out to visit me at college and proposed to me, and Pastor Paul did not know that he's going to be there to witness and to take a video of Justin doing just that. Another one, I have to add a couple more, is when he performed our wedding ceremony for us. And lastly, we just bought a new house and he decided to come visit us and stay the night, the first night we stayed in our brand new house.
One of my favorite memories of Pastor Paul was at our wedding, right before me and my groomsmen were gonna walk up to the front of everyone for the wedding. He brought everyone together and he was very serious. And he told us about the 3 rings of marriage. And the first ring was the engagement ring, which he was there for. And then the second ring was the marriage ring, which again he was there for. And then the third ring, which no one was expecting this, was suffering. And I'm not going to say if that is accurate or not. So thank you, Pastor Paul, for that memory.
One of my favorite memories of Paul is one of the times that we were meeting one-on-one, and I remember that there was another student that he was meeting with that was trying to figure out his yellow sheet with all of his initials and notes on it, and she asked me if I knew what it all was, and I think I told her that I kind of understood the system, and I was bluffing a little bit, but afterward I kind of confirmed with Paul what the actual meaning was, and I won't spoil it for anyone that may be watching this, but Paul and I talked at length about that and really laughed about that quite a good bit.
One of my favorite memories of Paul is that he's the only person to visit us in every home that Lisa and I have owned. He's been to every one. I remember him telling him, well, I guess your streak is over. We're moving to Hawaii in a few months. And Paul came back, asked for more details, and then said, well, we'll be there. He and Dondra had already had plans to go to Hawaii for their anniversary. And And we're at our home in Hawaii about a month after we moved in.
Okay. I was meeting Pastor Paul for a one-on-one on South Campus. Okay. And there was like nobody on campus. It must have been the summer. And this was like recently. I actually think this was last summer. And so I walk into the dining area, like the big echoey room, the dining area, and he was the only one sitting in the dining area, and he was facing away from me. And so I like to play pranks on him. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna give this guy a heart attack. So I sneak up behind him, and I'm right above him, and he's facing away. He's typing on his computer, and he has his headphones in, and I'm just like, this is perfect. And I go, ah! And he goes, ah! And he totally freaks out, and it was hilarious. And I don't know, it took us like 20 more minutes to settle into our session then, and it was great. It was the best thing that ever happened.
I can't really top that. One of my favorite moments with Pastor Paul was, I'd say a series of moments actually, but all the moments that he and I would always look at each other and just understand like what we were thinking, especially with regards to Emily in particular, because like she would always be freaking out, but he and I would always be on the same page and be like, this girl's crazy. Like, she, in a variety of different ways. So I would say a series of events just led to us laughing and just being on the same page all these times. I think was just some of my favorite memories with him. So it's a collective group of memories.
And I would say that Paul has had the greatest impact on our lives, and just reminding us to laugh and to hug it out once in a while, and that things do get better. Even when things are hard, we just have learned to persevere and have victory. So we're really thankful for his work there.
The biggest impact Pastor Paul has had on my life, just through being in different Bible studies with him and just having him just be a phone call away, is that he is my go-to person. If I have something that I need a prayer request for, if something that I'm concerned about, I just call him and tell him what's going on, and he's able to keep it in his prayers, and that's really meant a lot to me since I've known him, and just to know that we have such a godly man in our life that we can turn to if there's ever an issue with whatever. He's just a phone call away, even though sometimes it takes not the first call, second call, but sometimes the third time to answer my phone call. But it's okay because eventually he answers.
Paul has made an impact on my life in that I feel like I always have kind of a spiritual father figure to talk to when I'm going through this wild thing called life. And he helps me to find a lot of laughter in the situations that I'm going through, and also provide biblical and I guess just wise advice in general, and help me to kind of not take myself so seriously, which is really something that helps me quite a bit. I also just really enjoy spending time with him and sharing those laughs that we have as we share stories of the things that we've encountered in life, and kind of embracing our inner child that I think is really stuck inside us and screaming to come out all the time, which is good.
Paul's impacted me early on. As teens, he and I talked about growing up, and was a big brother to me, talking about almost everything. His counsel was helpful during those years, and I remember attending VBS at the Christian Missionary Alliance with him one year. I think I was the only one from my family that would do so. And the thing I remember is the competition with the tin airplanes hanging overhead. I don't remember the competition or much else, but I remember the VBS because of that.
I'll go first this time. So, Pastor Paul's impact on my life, especially our lives, I can speak for both of us, has been tremendous, because he's just kind of been like that steady force, I say force, but steady person in our lives that's been able to really help us grow as a couple, moving us towards oneness. And I think that he has been able to help us wrestle with some tough questions, wrestle with some tough decisions, but also guide us in a very Christ-like and godly direction, where I think our marriage is really strong because of that, because he asked us the tough questions before we got married, so that he knew not only that we were compatible, but that we would have a strong foundation to build our marriage upon.
And I think that Pastor Paul has impacted my life because he's just really shown me like what trust looks like and what stability looks like in times when I just want to freak out and lose it, and I just have no trust and I'm constantly worrying, and he just comes in and he's like, yep, like that's okay, or exactly, or like he's just a very stable voice that is spoken into my life, and he just really validates with honesty and doesn't turn away any concern that I'm wrestling with, but really shows me that, like, in light of eternity, what you're wrestling with is like it's okay. And I think just like a sense of stability and peace he's shown me that I don't think I would have in my life without seeing that in him.
And what would you say to Paul if you could we'll just send him a message?
I would say it's an honor to have you in our lives, and, you know,
Well, just that he's been such a blessing to us, Paul. Truly, it is a privilege to know you and call you friend. Happy birthday. Enjoy your next journey around the sun.
Pastor Paul, I want to say happy birthday, and I'm sorry we can't be there to celebrate with everybody, but thank you for the friendship and the wisdom and the support and the guidance that you have provided for me, well, since the time I met you, when I was figuring out if I was going to go to Buffalo or not. You mean so much to me, and words can never explain.
Pastor Paul, I want to say happy birthday. Thank you for everything that you've done for Sam, and thank you for everything that you've done for me for the short amount of time that I've known you, and look forward to meeting up with you again, visiting with you and Miss Dondra, and making more memories. Thank you. Happy birthday.
Paul, I want to say that I am so glad you did not turn out to be the creepy, weird old dude that I thought you were when as we were first going into meeting together one-on-one for the first time. I've really enjoyed your friendship over the years, and it's pretty wild that it's already been 6 years or so that we've kind of been hanging out and meeting one-on-one, and I really appreciate the time that you take for me to help me to enjoy the time that I have and enjoy the experiences that I have, and to reflect on the things that otherwise I would give the excuse that I'm too busy to reflect on. I'm thankful for your friendship and for your love and for your compassion for students, and I wish you a very happy birthday. Cheers.
Paul, I just want to say happy birthday and happy 60th. Glad to have you part of my life, and thanks for engaging and being part of our lives. Happy birthday.
Paul, you're an awesome dude. Stay strong. Keep the good fight. And I think Emily's poem will sum it up pretty much.
Okay, I wrote a poem for you, and it's called Paul. His name is Paul. He is not tall. He scrolls on Amazon for hours, and he sometimes smells like flowers. He is squishy and comfy to hug, the perfect human to bug. He knows where God has him called, and has a nice little head that is bald. He loves his plaid button-up shirts, and knows how to comfort my heart when it hurts. He usually is tardy, but at least he can party. You're getting old, but your heart is not cold. So happy birthday, Paul. You're the best of them all. And I love you.
Happy birthday, Paul.
And you're amazing. And you've really impacted my life.
Hi, Paul. This is your mom, obviously. The kids wanted me to really tell some of the things that your dad and I were real proud of. In your 60 years, you've done a lot of things. And at first, of course, we were so happy when we knew we were going to have a baby. And brought you home from the hospital, a baby, beautiful baby boy. I know you guys object to being called beautiful, but you were. And we just loved you to death. And our family everyone was so happy that we finally had a child. Because we weren't getting any younger. And you were so independent, is the word, that when you were ready to go that first morning, get on the school bus, you wouldn't let me go with you at all. I had to stand in the window and watch you go. And the time came for college. We were very happy and proud that you chose to go to Nyack, because that meant you would have wanted to go into the ministry. And that was something that we really were very happy about. And you graduated and with a good, you graduated with honors, I guess. And when you were coming up the aisle from the graduation ceremony, you gave your dad and I your diploma. You handed it over to us, and we were really happy about that. And proud that you thought of us that way, that we had helped you that much in going to college. And while you were there, you met Dondra Pleitler, and seemed to be that the Lord was leading you to become friends with her. And not only eventually you became engaged, and then what happens then? You got married. And we were so happy that the Lord had pointed you to the perfect mate for you. She was a wonderful girl, and she still is, because she's the mother of your 4 children. And we're so happy for that, because each one of the kids are individual and different and do different things, but they're all great kids. We found out you were going to move up this way to Buffalo. And then we were really proud of that, because that meant you and the kids would all be near us, and we could see you much more often. And as it was, it really turned out to be a very nice time for us, as well as for you, I think. I think you enjoyed being near your parents, too. We used to come up to church services and then go over to the house and have Sunday dinner. And that was great for us. Now that you're working with college kids, I'm really sorry that your dad can't be here to see you, how you work with the kids and are helping them to become Christian leaders, and it's a wonderful thing that you're doing right now. I know you make your family proud of you no matter what you do, because that's just the way you are. Happy birthday, Paul. Happy birthday. We love you. I love you. We all love you.